Hi, I'm Sandy from Sandy Over 70, and today I'm going to tell you what to do when your African violets stop blooming. About a year ago, I did a video on tips for growing African violets, which was very popular. And then mine stopped blooming. Well, it turns out that I have moved, so the lighting in my new house is different from my old house, and I had to really figure out what was going on. And I'm going to tell you what I figured out so that maybe it will help you as well. Before I begin my saga, let me review some of the basic tips for growing African violets. Now, I'm not an expert, but my mother taught me how to grow African violets when I was a little girl. She was very successful, and I just followed her advice, and I've had a lot of luck. As you can see, we're back in business. And the basic points that I want to make are that lighting is the most important thing when you're growing African violets. If it's sitting on your desk or on a counter or in a corner, you are not going to get blooms, and probably the plant will even die. You have to put it in light. And when I say light, I mean light, not sun. Sun will also kill the African violets. So find the best window in your house that has the most light, but not hot sun that would be beating down on your plant, because it will kill the leaves. The next most important thing is, I think, is to water the plants from the bottom in a saucer or one of the little plates that you can buy in Lowe's, little plastic ones that you can put under it. And I water once a week. And the plants do not like to sit in water. Their roots do not like to sit in water. So I fill up the saucer with water, and if it's still there in an hour, I dump the remaining water out, because they want to drink their water and then they want the soil to get dry before the next feeding of water. So don't let them sit in water. That will not help at all. I did try some of these wicks. I bought some wicks because my mother always used these. And as you can see, this plant is doing extremely well. So I suggest maybe buying these wicks. I can't really remember where I got them. I think they were part of a potting set, but they draw the water up from your saucer and into the plant. And she swore by this, and you can see that probably this is my best violet right at the moment. So you might want to consider wicks. I do use plant food. I use Miracle-Gro for African violets. My mom didn't use any plant food, and they were fine. But, you know, I put 7 drops into my watering can just for good measure. And basically, that's all I do. I break off the dead leaves if there are some, and I snip off the flowers after they're done blooming. Last year, I did the video in January. The plants were fine all through the summer. Winter came, and the African violets completely stopped blooming. Well, this is normal. They do have periods where they rest. But these plants rested for way too long, and I thought, they're never going to bloom again. There's something wrong here, and it must be the lighting, because I was in a new house with a new window, and also in the winter, the axis of the earth changes as it goes around the sun, and that changes the way the lighting comes in your windows. So I knew I had no other place to put these plants. There are no other possible windows. I'm in the brightest room. It's a little sunroom, and it has windows on 2 sides with a slider. And I knew I wasn't going to find a better window in this house. So I went online to Amazon and I ordered a grow light. And I put it behind the African violet stand, and I ordered some bulbs specific for growing, grow bulbs, I guess they're called. And the directions said to leave it on like up to 14 hours a day. So I set a timer, and I started using the Grow Light. Now, it happened to be next to the orchids, which had also stopped blooming. But the Grow Light was directed onto the African violets. And I waited, and I thought, oh, I'm sure this is going to work. And I waited and waited and waited, and it did not work very fast. I still had to wait months to get the blooming restarted. And when it did, they all started blooming at once. And then the orchids started blooming as well. So I was very pleased. I had gotten rid of some of the really old African violets that I'd had for years that looked kind of decrepit. And I just kept my very best ones. And also I also kept my very best orchids because my space here is so limited. But I'm very happy with the Grow Light. I'm not sure I'm actually going to need it in the summer because the lighting is so good here right now. But I may just leave it on for good measure. So I thought this might be helpful to you. I want you to know that orchids don't bloom constantly. They do take long rest periods, especially in the winter. Water them from the bottom. Dump out any excess water after about an hour. Keep them out of strong sun, but also keep them out of dark places because they will never bloom in a dark place. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Let me know. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.